Hello everyone, Mary from Energy Girl here with a video on how to balance our water element. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, there's 5 different elements. We have all 5 within us, but there's usually a primary or a secondary that we have that show up in our personality, shows up in our stress response, even how we get sick and how we get better is corresponding to our elements as well. So keeping our elements in balance is crucial. Now, elements correspond to seasons. They're sometimes called 5 seasons or 5 rhythms as well. So this corresponds to the winter season, which I'm currently in January of 2023 as I'm recording this. So the winter element, or the water element, corresponds to bladder and kidney meridians, meridians being energy highways in the body. And just like car highways, energy highways can get congested, traffic can come to a standstill. So keeping traffic flowing, energy flowing is key. Now, in addition to corresponding to the bladder and kidney organs, elements also contain emotions that go along with them. Now, the negative element or the negative emotions of the water element are fear and despair. Fear contains everything from mild fear all the way over to phobias. And then the positive aspects of the water element are hope and fostering new beginnings, which is appropriate because here we are in January as part of the winter season, the new year, and we're looking to actually focus on the new beginning of the new year. So balancing the water helps to decrease fear, bring in hope. What's more better than that? In the world of energy, bladder controls obviously the organ of bladder, but it also controls the nervous system. Very important in our body. Kidney meridian, of course, governs the kidneys, but also it governs the bones, the ears, especially the inner ear, even the teeth. So the water element controls the reproductive organs, both in men and women. So if anybody has reproductive organ issues, things like tinnitus, chronic bladder infections, Parkinson's, you name it, balancing this element is going to be of great help. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to stretch our meridians, because one of the foundational rules in energy is that energy needs space to move. Now, the kidney meridian starts at the bottom of the foot, runs all the way up the inside of the legs, midline to our body, to our clavicles, ending at the K27s, which if you're doing the daily routine, you know that is one of the taps. The bladder meridian starts at the inside of the eye, runs all the way to the back side of the head, down the back side of our legs as well, coming off the pinky toe. So being full body meridians, if you will, we need to stretch the whole body. So we're going to start with just stretching our hands up and stretching the back, and with the energy breath, which is in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathe out. We're going to do about 3 or 4 breaths. With each exhale, you should be able to stretch a little bit further. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Again, we're really just stretching the legs, especially the back of the legs. That's all bladder. So the next exercise we're going to do is called blowing out the candle. Now this exercise focuses on the emotional aspects of the element. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our legs into our body like this, and we're going to hold our knees. You can do this on a bed or on a chair. Ultimately, though, we're going to be rocking. So however you want to rock, whether it be just from flat foot to heel, keeping your heels on the ground, or completely coming off the ground, it's whatever's comfortable to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine there's a candle right in front of us. And when we do our energy breath, we're going to take an in through the nose breath, and then exhale, or in through the nose breath, and then exhale out, try and blow out the candle. What we're going to do, in through the nose, blow through the candle. Now you can add a sound to this as well. It corresponds to the water element, and that's the who sound, like W-H-O. You're just doing a whoo. Now you can do that exercise as long as feels good. 2 minutes, 5 minutes. If you're in the throes of an actual fear or a phobia situation, assume that position and just rock until you feel better. So source points are master points on those meridians that are almost like rest stops, right? They're master points where the car can get off, refuel, rebalance, get rid of some excess energy, and get back on the highway. So the source points are on the kidney is K3, kidney 3, which is on the inside of the ankle. You've got your ankle bone, very prominent on the inside of your leg, and you've got the coming back toward your Achilles tendon right on the back of your ankle. So as you're tracing your finger, there's going to be a little divot there, almost to the Achilles tendon. And that's where K3 is, right in that little cave, in that little divot. So we're just going to massage that point for a minute. And you can hold it, you can massage it. If it's sore, that means there's some excess energy in there and it really needs to be worked on. But the bladder point, we switch feet because it's on the opposite, it's on the outside of the foot. So you've got your pinky toe, you come down about an inch and you've got this bump or this hump right here before you go back down onto the sole of your foot. It's right there at that hump. So if you just hold that hump, again, you can massage it a little bit, you can hold it. That's bladder 64, or the 64th point on the bladder meridian. We're just holding. And you can also hold these together. Save some time, find that bladder 64, and on the same leg, find that kidney 3 point, and then just hold both of those points for about a minute. After you hold one side, switch to the other side, bladder 64, kidney 3, and again, we're helping to balance that element in a whole different way. Again, about a minute on this side as well. Now we're going to do neurolymphatics. So the neurolymphatic system helps clear toxins out of the body, but it also helps energize the body by working with the neurolymphatics. So the neurolymphatics for both kidney and bladder are in two separate locations. The bladder location, the first one is right across the pubic bone. So going from one side to the other is the way to massage those points, and you're putting a little bit of pressure in on those points. A great time to do these points specifically, especially if you're doing this for bladder issues, is every time you go to the bathroom. You're already there, you're sitting there, just work those points. The second bladder location is if you find your navel, come about 2 inches out and really work those points. You're putting a little bit of pressure on. If there's soreness, again, you're looking at congestion in those points, which just means this needs to be done. And you're working the bladder points. So those are the two bladder locations. The kidney locations, if you stay right there at the bladder locations, come up 2 inches and you're already at the kidney location. One of the kidney locations here, again, soreness, which I have a little bit there on the left side, means congestion. And we're just breaking up energy, making space, getting rid of the toxins within the kidney element, or the kidney meridian, sorry. And then the second kidney location is actually on the outside of the upper arm. So you're just going to go putting a little bit of pressure on the outside. A lot of people have soreness in this area. I notice when I do this on my clients, a lot of them start to cringe and ask me to ease up a little bit, but all that means is that there's a lot of congestion there. Don't forget to do the other arm. So those are the neurolymphatics. So the last thing we're going to work on within the water element is to hold the neurovascular point for the element itself. Now, neurovascular points are points on the head that correspond to respective organs, to respective energy systems, even to some glands. So the neurovasculars for the water, it doesn't matter which hand you're going to use, because you're going to use both of them, it's strictly for your comfort, is the first hand is going to go in the back of the head, right at the ridge there, and the second hand is going to come right here on the forehead. Now this is the hold for the water element. I have a much more in-depth video called Holding Points for Clarity and Calm on my channel. Gives you a lot more in-depth information. But for the water element, just hold this point for 2 to 3 minutes to help bring the water element into balance. If you have a fear, hold this for 2 to 3 minutes, and then after that, 2 to 3 minutes of calm, then try to think of something that makes you fearful and see if it makes you, respond the same way. The longer you hold, the less fear should be there. Again, my video on holding points for clarity and calm goes into a lot more in-depth information on that. So the last exercise we're going to do is called the hookup. The hookup, we're going to use middle fingers, one of them in the navel, and the second one in the third eye, which is right in between the eyebrows. And we're going to push in and lift up. Now this exercise is part of the daily routine. So if you're doing the daily energy routine, you know what this is. It helps keep the corrections that we've just made, but it also helps reset and clear the nervous system. So if you have something like restless leg or Parkinson's or seizures even, this is certainly going to help. I also have another video called Hookups Extra Strength, where this is just one of several different kinds of hookups that I discuss and what they all do. So thank you everyone. For much more information, and check out my water element blog on my website, energygirl2020.com. And I have a video called the 5-element balancer, which gets into the head positions, the head holds of all 5 elements. As always, likes, comments, questions, subscribes, greatly appreciated, everyone. Take care.